So there's this adage: when you're plotting revenge, dig two holes. Because you may kill your enemy, but you're also killing a part of yourself. So Thorfinn always worshipped his father, and particularly, he worshipped his father's past. But at some point in history, Thor took God's advice. Instead of storming bastions, killing his enemies, he decided, guess what? I just want family. I'm going to be a family man. Since Thor was trained and particularly good at his job, the powers that be decided to themselves that they can't let a resource like that go. So they sent in Askeladd and his band of merrymen. But the thing about Thor's giving up his life for Thorfinn is that it created a need for revenge. Revenge doesn't care who it has to hurt. Revenge doesn't care who is offended. Revenge doesn't even care about right and wrong. All revenge cares for is whether or not I am satisfied. So Thorfinn became a monster. He worked alongside the people that he wanted revenge from, because his revenge was motivated in honor. He wanted to go and kill Askeladd in a fair duel. He didn't want to take the man's life while he was asleep. He didn't want to go ahead and find some type of way to sneak him while in battle. He wanted to go in and do it fair and square. So Askeladd, being the man that he is, knowing what motivates people, he decides to go and use Thorfinn for his own purposes, dangling a duel over young Thorfinn's head as a means for reward for him achieving certain feats. But when you've been with a person so long, even though you may have started out using them, you come to gather some type of care for them. You rely on them. You grow with them. And somewhere along the line when you're not looking, you start to care for them. However, since you have a disliking for them, nothing about this would be recognized. Not immediately anyway. So Thorfinn ends up spending almost his whole life around Askeladd, defending Askeladd, taking commands from Askeladd, being taught by Askeladd. In a way, Askeladd became the father to Thorfinn. So one could say that Askeladd became a father to Thorfinn. And I think it was because when it came down to Thor's, he made a promise to Thor's before he died that no one on this ship would be harmed if Thor's chose going to give up his life. So I'm pretty sure when the whole thing started, he would prefer for Thorfinn to really just handle the issue himself, get himself killed. But instead of doing that, Thorfinn chose to survive, and survive consistently, and to the point where he looked at Thorfinn as a son. Sorry, for the sake of TikTok, I gotta go and skip this story a lot. But when Thorfinn meets Canute, and Canute is weak, passive, but he holds a powerful position. He's the growing king, and Askeladd takes a great interest in Canute. In a way, you can go and say that Canute was a surrogate son, or like a brother to Thorfinn as well. So both Askeladd and Thorfinn helped to develop Canute into the man that he is. But the thing is, Canute honored that development by killing Askeladd. But with that action, it left poor Thorfinn without a purpose, without a guide. By killing Askeladd, it did go in and complete the circle. Askeladd did die. But now, it left Thorfinn in a position where who's pulling the strings now? Who's justifying my actions? Why do I still have all this rage? Because even though you may accomplish your goals of, killing or neutralizing an individual based off of revenge, it doesn't matter. The feelings will still remain. And then feelings need an outlet. But who do you going to take it out on? And that fact hit Thorfinn immediately. The man cried, screamed, dragging a knife. Because that knife represented a part of himself that he kept close to himself for so long. That need for revenge. But I don't think that he quite thought of what happens once that revenge or that feeling for revenge is quenched. Thorfinn was able to go and take down the tall guy, a man that Askeladd himself was afraid of. So he was most likely able to go in and kill Askeladd, but he held himself back. So with him being dragged off to some prison somewhere, this is the prologue, so we don't know where Thorfinn is going at this time. But with him being dragged off to places unknown, all that we can think is, what was it all for?